it's Natalie, and I thought I would just come on here and show my face a little bit and talk about the layout that I'm going to make today. Just try some new things here in the new year. It is a blog post for a cherry on top today, and I'm going to be using the new 49 Market Nostalgic Memories collection by Dennis Bruton. And I just thought I would tell you how I kind of get started and make a few design choices before I get started actually scrapbooking and assembling the page. You can find more info on the blog today at A Cherry on Top, and there will be some tips on if maybe you haven't scrapbooked before or in a very long time, and maybe that is something you want to try this year, and maybe how to get over some hurdles of getting started. But on this video, I'll just kind of talk about some design choices, and then we'll get into actually making the layout. So I knew that I wanted to use this new collection that I got, and so I have these two pattern papers. So there's one side and there's the other sides of them, and so I decided to scrapbook this photo of my sons and my nephew with my grandparents. So that's their great grandparents, and it's like a very sentimental photo, a sweet photo. These papers are gorgeous but a little bit dark, so I knew that I wanted to make this collection work with my style, and I wanted to add a little bit of color, which kind of goes hand in hand because that is my style. So I decided to use a cut file. So I got a cut file from the Cherry on Top store, and I cut it out in colored cardstock. On the blog, I'll talk about as well how I kind of figure out my page design a little bit before I cut my cut file, because that kind of dictates how large I want my cut file. And another way that I decided to kind of make this my own, or kind of bring it into my style, is I used the chevron cut file from A Cherry on Top, and I that kind of takes this pretty collection and brings it into a more like casual vibe, or a maybe a little bit of a distressed vibe is usually what I give it. And so that kind of tones down like the prettiness of the collection and kind of will make it work with my style. So if your style is florals and pretty, then you kind of are already there with this collection, but maybe you don't typically use the darker colors. So another way to kind of bring it into your style is I'm going to use these colors on a lighter background. So I just chose this cream color background. It also works for me because I'm going to be using the rub-on transfers from the same collection by 49 Market. I love to use these, and again, they're very floral. I think I said in my unboxing they're very early 2010s vibe. So they already do have a distressed look, but I also really love to give layers and different dimensions and textures on a page. And so in addition to using these, so it's not only rub-ons on the background, I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. And so I have a stamp from my collection. This is from All in Create. It's the Cirque Trio stamp. I'm not sure if it's still in stock, but I do think I saw a similar type of circular stamp recently. But it kind of gives the same like little splatter vibes that the rub-ons give. So immediately my mind went to that product that already existed in my collection. You could also just create splatters on your own, but I'm going to use those stamps in addition to the rub-ons. So if you have anything from your stash already that you want to incorporate with your new collections, that's a really great way to, you know, use the products that you already own and love. And then I'm going to also embellish with the laser die cuts, which I always love from 49 Market. Those are my favorites. And so I got the floral pack, which of course has additional things that are not only florals. I feel like I'm probably going to use this cut apart. 49 Market always has really great packaging that you can fussy cut in addition to the laser cut images that come in the dies. Just kind of a way that they package their product and give you kind of the most bang for your buck. And so, you know, don't be afraid to fussy cut those things and cut into those. So that's the plan going in. Let's get started. So here we have the blank page, and we're going with a plan, so it's not daunting. And I'm kind of arranging things as they were arranged on my Cricut screen. I have cut out the backing to the cut file, and I'm just going to trim it up a little and then adhere it with my Nuvo adhesive. I'm not even going to glue down the middle part of the cut file whenever I attach it to the page. Which actually will save me, because sometimes, as much planning as I do or do not do, sometimes you need to move things or you decide to change things up. And so that's okay. It happens, right? It's part of the process. So I put that paper on the word moments, and then I do the kind of typewriter paper for the word love. And I'm really enjoying the way this looks. This Nostalgic Memories collection is gorgeous. And sorry if you hear little noises. Whenever I start speaking, my little pup comes and she needs pets because she thinks I'm speaking to her. So I'm going to put everything back on the page to see where I would like to do my rub-ons and mixed media and things. So I'm also going to figure out where I want the chevrons. So I'm going to mess around with that. The chevrons kind of make it a little bit more casual. They also direct the reader's attention to the items that I want you to look at, such as the photo. Now, I'm just messing around with them. I end up not using as many. But a lot of times when adding elements to a page, it's a good rule to use an odd number. That being said, crafting has no rules and you can do what you want, just whatever is pleasing to your eye. So now I'm going in with my rub-on transfers, and I'm kind of keeping the items on the page for a minute to make sure that I know where I want them. Another kind of, it's a design rule. It's not hard and fast, but pleasing to the eye is a visual triangle. So what you'll see me doing is I'm arranging my rub-ons. You can see I have 3 there. One at the top of the photo, one to the left in the negative space of the cut file, and one at the bottom right. And if you draw a line between the 3, it's a triangle. That's what we call a visual triangle. You hear me refer to that a lot when I'm talking about my design. So I decide to do that cut apart of like the kind of file or tape or whatever that came on the die cut, and I'm going to stick that beneath the title cut file. And I'm pretty clear on where I want the rub on, so I'm going to commit to those. But you will see me put the cut file back on the page to make sure that the positioning is right, because obviously once you rub those on, you can't move them around. And I have put rub-ons on before that ended up being completely covered up, which is a super bummer, right? I love this piece a lot. It is super cool. And so I put everything back on there to make sure that the positioning of this bottom one will be in the right place and it won't be covered up. I just want it sticking out from under that cut apart piece that I am going to use for my subtitle. I just used a few of the scraps from around the cutting, or where I cut the cut file out of the pattern paper, to map my photo just on the edges. I just want a tiny little peek of a coordinating paper, or a paper that coordinates with all of the items on the page. So this one at the top is going to be tucked beneath the photo, and so I cut it in half because only half of it would show, and so I can use the other half either on this layout or another layout. You'll see me audition it in a few spaces and I set it aside, but then I do end up using it. So that is looking great. I am going to next go in with my stamping. I told you before that I had a stamp in my stash that was really similar to that circle rub-on. These are called the Cirque Trio from All & Create. They are not available in the store anymore, but if you have them in your stash, they're great for this collection. If you don't, you could just dip the cap of like a spray in your ink and kind of get the same vibe. I'm stamping first and second generation stamping, so you get different tones of the ink. I'm using Fired Brick and I'm using Crackling Campfire. And then there's a trio of stamps, so I will end up using them in different ways. Sometimes I overlap them. I love these rub-ons because you can kind of ink them up or put things on top of them. And sorry, but I did not film the splattering. I can't talk. But the ink, I just rubbed it onto the glass mat, added a tiny bit of water, and splattered mostly just in the clusters of rub-ons and stamps. And that kind of just brings the rub-ons and stamps together with like a cohesive look, as though everything is intentional. Because it is. I did kind of, even though the splatters are organic and I can't really fully control exactly what everything looks like, it is all intentionally planned. So I am ready to commit to sticking down my cut file. Also, wait, one more thing about the splatters. I didn't put gesso on the page, so you just don't add too much liquid, because when you don't have gesso on the page, you can't move the liquid around. But just for a few splatters, you should be fine. And I stick my photo down, and I kind of just gently place that cut apart down to ensure that it's in the right spot before I kind of firmly press down and commit to where it's going to be. And so then once it's committed for a few seconds, then it might rip the page or something if you tried to pull it up. But you can like gently place things down there. Now, I needed a little bit of more mixed media coming out of the side, so I just place a piece of paper over my photo so that it looks as though that stamp is coming out from beneath my photo, but in fact, it's just stamped but right up against the edge of it. So now is the fun part, I think, and we're gonna go in with the laser die cuts. Now, this is why I was glad I didn't adhere down that cursive part, because I needed to add something beneath this photo, and I should have done it when I added the two sides, but I didn't. And anyway, so I had to kind of wiggle that in there, but it worked out. Oh, and I need to add my chevrons. So I do end up just doing 3 over there at the top, and I think I do 3 at the bottom. I've already forgotten it. I'm not looking at the layout just this very moment. Let's see, what do we do? Oh, I only do 2 at the bottom. So, hard and fast rule of like 3s or odd numbers is not always hard and fast. It's just, a suggestion. It's usually what looks good, but I determined a 2 chevron at the bottom is fine, and here we are. The world didn't end. So I'm just going through with different elements and placing them where I think they look good, but I am not committing to sticking anything down just yet. These laser die cuts are probably one of my top 5 favorite supplies to use. I only like to adhere down part of them so I can kind of lift up the edges and make them look as though they're dimensional, popping off the page. So you can really see the visual triangle here, the top to the left to the bottom. So lastly, I step back and I'm like, you know what? The edges are a little stark. So I go in with my rub-ons and I pick 2 stitches, and I'm going to place them at the top left and the bottom right. And so what this does, and I'm using the other half of that circle rub-on as well, but what this does is it draws the reader's eye to my visual triangle. And so it kind of takes you from the diagonal top left down to the right, kind of reading as though you would read a book, diagonal to the triangular design element down to the bottom. And I just thought those were some interesting bits to help round out the page. I like a lot. I like a lot of distress and color, and so the edges were just a little too stark. In fact, I actually off screen took my little finger dauber and added some color all the way around the edges with a very light color wash of the dauber around the white cardstock. But I'm just doing the same things that I did on the mixed media on the internal part of the page, adding a little bit of stamping, a very small amount of the splatter, and then I'll even add a couple of very small laser die cuts to round out the page. And so I'm just adhering everything down, committing to it, and making sure of where everything wants to go. adding something there. Even though it covers the stamping a little bit, the stamping just gives it a little bit of a base, an anchor, if you will, to the page. So there's more details on the blog. I'll link that down below. I will put my affiliate links down below with the supplies if you are interested in purchasing some of this Nostalgic Memories collection from 49 Market. It's so gorgeous. But check it all out. Add a cherry on top. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'd love it if you'd like and subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye, y'all.